All right. So this is my first restream of my podcast. So on my personal channel, you can watch the studio view, and then I'll rebroadcast these. And so let's see if I can get this to go ahead and get started.
Take it, you can have it. What I
Change
got,
that a
baby,
little
I
bit.
can't hold. And if you find a secret, tell me how to build a mold.
And I hope that's got the sound and everything.
So don't try to
Loyalty, we coming through?
get yourself a
You there?
fire
That's great.
full of shells and
Cool.
make 'em wide up.
Yeah, enjoy. Puffin, Dad. Morning, everybody.
Get it
I
right,
don't let it run too
do
long.
it nice. If you make a mistake, you're gonna pay for it twice. If you need it, got to have it.
Hey, Blasted.
I'll get
You're the
yourself a
man.
shotgun and bring it back home. Look up the wall. You know you gotta
Sweet.
crawl.
We're live.
Start to fall and be ready to fall.
One thing I haven't figured out is how to get the
My direction.
chat to replay through the OBS. Hopefully we can figure that one out. Anyhow, I'm just gonna let this go, and I won't be talking over it. Yeah. Hey, Loyalty. I was just saying how I'm just replaying the stream. You just watched it. No need to rewatch. This is gonna be the new process, I think. We'll add playtime on my channel if I go ahead and do the studio version live, simulcasted, and then replay the pod from Future Cannabis 2. Yeah, right? Epic. All right. The Grateful Dead, live from 1972.
Truth is, I learn something new every time I go
Once
through this
upon a
stuff,
time
so-
ago, I wasn't even a year old. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and fade that out. I'm just going to go ahead and here and shut it down. Oh, hit the wrong. I closed it, I guess, by accident. Anyhow, where am I? I'm back over here. Morning, everybody. Fortunately, I can't
Thanks
listen
for
to the
joining
sound
us.
while it's playing, or it'll end up reverberate.
Got a
and
couple
make
of
a
things
mess.
we're doing today. Primarily thing though here is the title states. I've had two folks contact me in the last 48 hours asking about migraines, and so I decided it'd be a great way. Instead, it's a lot of work for me to go through and interact with each patient, and so it's nice to be able to make a larger contribution for several people at one time. And people ask,
Thanks, Blasted.
private messages and stuff. I ask them to present in a post or whatever, if they mind if I present their scenario in a post, so I can teach everybody. And so what we've got going here is I'm going to kind of walk through the process that I do when I assess something new, and try to apply cannabis to help somebody who's been failed by Western medicine. So we can start with the fact that we all know someone has migraines, okay, and that there isn't a whole lot known about exactly, right? And so I remember in my youth, quite a few people having them at college, particularly quite a few people having them. And the biggest thing I recall is nobody really knows exactly what's going on, why, what, for not causes them. And the other thing I remember is there's several different kinds, and different people have different types of migraine, right? Okay, so again, I'm not a medical doctor at all, but I've administered plant medicine for patients since 1985. And going back to one of the earliest administrations I did was helping people with seasickness. And I was 14 years old working on a fishing boat, right? And so the first premise of my understanding of plant medicine is, like, for instance, the brickweed from Mexico immediately stopped people's seasickness. 2-3 puffs off a little doobie and they would have immediate relief, right? But if it was the chronic from the triangle, super green bud, they got sicker, okay? So on that premise, we know that not every bit of cannabis or every type of cannabis is going to help every condition. and there may well be a cannabis that helps your condition or a condition that is obscure and not readily available to folks. But something also, this is on. I got the OBS going now, right? So we got Studio View on my personal channel, and you can watch both of them. If you split your screen, you can see me, and then you can see the screen going as well as I start going through. I'm going to be going through the internet today. I got this figured out how I can open up pages and search and stuff, and let you all watch. I won't be seeing myself on the screen though as I do that. So again, new stuff for me. Let's see. So like again, things are totally can be obscure, can be it could be something completely different for one person than the next one. And as we move forward, and this stuff is available to research and clinical trials, and we're able to take the large volume of anecdotal information and apply it to scientific studies, right? And find out what exactly is going on. So I'm gonna change over, and we're gonna hit my Instagram real quick and look at something there. And so let's see, I gotta go. I'm gonna do this one, and oh no, I want to go here. And so I lose my view sometimes of my channel on them, but okay. So I think we can go transition. All right, so you should be seeing my Instagram there, and I'm gonna go to it myself. And let's see here. I'm gonna open up this particular page here. So this is somebody just contacted me, right? And again, someone was saying I should get my own channel or whatever, but this guy this wouldn't have happened without Peter picking me up and asked me if we wanted to partner up and make the world a better place. So hello, Alex. My friend has a number of health issues, which causes him to have a severe tremors in his hand, leaving him unable to do anything requiring precision, let alone hold a cup of tea. I gave him a hardcore earth fuel pheno to enjoy, not thinking much of it. And he tells me that it has reduced his shakes almost completely. He can roll a joint, play 8-ball, and use a knife and fork. In his words, it's taken him back 20 years. This is what makes growing, and I imagine breeding, worth it. Cheers, mate. Okay, so here's somebody who's like, life has just changed because they found that right plant. Okay, this person's in Australia, and I've contacted them. If there's a cut, if there's a sample that we can test. I know they don't have it available down there yet, but hold on to it and let's figure out what this is. What this is a hybrid of a lost wild cannabis plant, and it developed one of those lost medicines that we don't know about. Okay, so I wanted to start in with these particular little bits of information, right? And so, but the next thing I do is I want to research what causes migraine. So I pop it into my search, and so one of the people contacted me is actually didn't even mention headache. They mentioned their ocular migraine. Okay, and so what that is generally occurs before your migraine or a standard migraine, and it's affecting the vision. Okay, and so I've had some vision issues. I've had blind spot in my life. Currently, I'm having issues with the last 3 or 4 years where my vision is diminishing, and there's various things that are attributed, but it's not all the time. So it's something that's dynamic, right? There's something affecting me. So I want to go in and find out what exactly is going on. You can see we have migraine with aura, we have headache, we have cluster aches. There's all these different kinds of migraine, right? And so I'm going to go through and read up all of these different things I can find. Oh, here, what's this? Here's a cool overview, right? Causes. Migraine is not attributed to a single specific cause, but various environmental factors and genetics may play a role. Further, many risks have been identified: family history, aging, emotional anxiety, environmental factors such as changes in weather or altitude, abnormal structures in the brain, imbalances in brain chemicals such as serotonin, hormonal changes in women, certain foods, additives, can act as triggers, alcohol, stress, changes in sleep patterns, medication, right? So there's different options that they offer, but the people coming to me, they've been not successful in finding solutions, quite possibly with this Western medicine technique, style, whatever, right? So we can see there's different treatment options, there's different diagnosis. I remember people literally just crawling into a hole, pulling a blanket over their head, and saying, "Man, life sucks. I'm going to go to sleep and sleep it off the best I can." But a lot of times the pain is so bad you can't even sleep, and you just go into this little meditative state of dealing with hell. Okay, so we can look at some of the preventative tips. What are the links? So looking at all these different things we can go through, symptoms and causes for myo, right? And so that's one of the first things I want to do is immerse myself in risk factors, causes. Okay, they're not, though migraine from Mayo Clinic, migraine causes aren't fully understood. Genetics and environmental factors appear to play a role. Changes in the brain stem and its interactions with the trigeminal nerve, a major pain pathway, might be involved. So it might imbalances in brain chemicals, including serotonin, which helps regulate pain in your nervous system. Right? So there's something, I'm not seeing it right here, but one of the other ones that I've seen is a major, the arteries going into our brain, into our head, right? They seem to have flow fluctuations and thrombosis or whatever, where it increases and decreases, okay? And so we've got the blood flow issues, right? We've got chemical issues, we've got stress issues, we've got all this stuff that plays into it. And we can start formulating in our mind, like, okay, what parts of cannabis might deal with this, right? So one of the things is they say is that you have this super increased blood flow into the brain, your arteries increase, but your veins might not necessarily. So you're getting this increased blood flow, right? And so I think about my experience in the past with headaches, and when I smoke, it tends to increase that throbbing, right? My experience but I also know that, like, again, different smoke, different cannabis is going to do different things. But beyond that, in my experience over years and years, I realized, like, oh, well, I've had way better pain relief from topical and from edible, and not THC delta 9, right? But THCA, right? Okay, so one of the next things we're going to do, though, is we look at, and I'm going to go back to the web pages here, and I'm going to open up search, and we're going to look at cannabis for migraine treatment. So we get a whole bunch of different things, right? You see a ton of different possibilities. The patient with the ocular migraines has stated that they've used CBD to little or no effect, right? And so here's all this information we look through. Marijuana is considered a possible treatment option for many medical conditions, including migraines. However, at the current time, research hasn't proven whether it's effective in treating these painful episodes. And my experience is that marijuana, or the smoking of the cannabis plant, is not going to be the actual solution. Okay, my experience is telling me that we want to move towards a consumed edible or whatnot. And so if we look further down, we see that CBD and THC have been tried for various things. We have different research that's been gone down so far, but not a whole lot, right? What was it I said? That they're looking at CBD and THC. They're looking at the delta 9. They're looking at the carboxylated. Okay, and I don't see anything anywhere, anyone looking at any of the other forms of cannabis and how. Let's see what we have, how it might work. The body naturally makes endocannabinoids which bind to the endocannabinoid receptors located in the brain throughout the body. Cannabinoids bind to these receptors, and some components of marijuana work as endocannabinoid agonists, augmenting cannabinoid effects, while others act as antagonists, inhibiting. Okay, now remember that. So we're going to look at how so CBD can regulate pain and inflammation in some cases, right? And I tell people that CBD and THC. One is the fulcrum and one is the lever. So they can do so much on their own and in isolation, but when you put the two of them together, there's a whole nother system that's going into effect, and we have leverage, right? And so one exponentially increases the capacity of the other. And so here's something that I have to emphasize as well, where I have two different patients and they've got two completely different possibilities of what's going on here, right? You've got to find all of these different options, right? And again, I'm straight up. To me, smoking is not going to be the answer, right? It's going to be finding a particular chemistry and then taking it through various different forms, orally, sublingually, right? Okay, but that's my brain working as I look through this stuff. So again, also the regulators in the entourage for effect of various cannabinoidal aspects. I'm sorry, the terpenes, and besides the terpenes, the flavonoids. Okay, all this stuff. Here we can see videos for migraine treatment, right? Cannabis and migraine. It's complicated. Okay, let's take a quick look at that actual article. And this is literally what I do. I go through and look at all these things. This is PubMed. This is the government. Recent findings. Patients utilizing medical cannabis for migraine have reported improvement in migraine profile and common comorbidities. Reduction in prescription medication is also common, especially opioid side effects exist, with the majority being mild. Not enough data is available. Specific dose recommendations. THC and CBD appear to mediate these observed effects. The purpose of this article is twofold: review the limited research and reflect on clinical management experiences. Okay, so again, they're looking at, and this is, they got a bunch of articles we can get into, and so there's a lot of information to go through to like kind of hew in on the variables, okay? And so finding all that information to learn about what it is that I'm trying to help somebody with is one of the first things I do, right? We have different possibilities, cannabis and migraine, really cannabis for migraines, and so we can search all this kind of stuff. All right, so with a migraine, we understand, okay, there's great variabilities and stuff, and so in order to hone in on it, the next question I'm going to ask Google is, Chinese traditional medicine for migraine. All right. So right here, it's offering up an herbal formula. Okay, that is a standard prescription. There's quite a few different articles on how, and there's one I looked at yesterday. I want to see if I can't find again. I'm not seeing the one I linked through already, so I searched a little different. What they discuss in Chinese medicine is that your symptoms come from other issues. Let's see. I'm gonna change my search a little bit here. Let's see if I can get that one to come up. Of course, I'm misspelling Chinese. And so treating here's another one, headache. Here we go. Chinese medicines for migraines. Treating headaches caused by internal influences with traditional Chinese medicine. The classical formula for this condition is the same herbal remedy, which is also quite effective in relieving tight neck and shoulders, can accompany the headache. Contains 2 herb specific. All right, so that's not the same one I was looking at. Again, they discuss, and I'm not an expert in Chinese medicine. I look at this as a way to understand what's going on. And I apologize, I'm not seeing this. What it was talking about. So they have heat issues, and they talk about your meridians in your. They talk about your meridians, right? And so in acupuncture and acupressure, we're dealing with nerve endings, okay? And so I learned the beginning of martial medicine from Jesuit priest who was a Korean War Green Beret prisoner of war, and learned the beginnings of his understanding of the martial medicines while he was as a prisoner of war. And then through teaching Christian yoga, he part of what he taught us was massage therapy and acupressure and the basis of the energy flow meridians and stuff like that. So I'm not an expert in Chinese medicine. It's freaking fascinating, but I do use it to understand it better because they have this huge ancient library of knowledge, right? And so they talk about, the article I was looking for, they talk about how headache is caused by a blockage of energy flow through the meridians and the crown. And so there's other issues going on in your body, okay? And the other thing they talk about is heat. And heat and cool are, with yin and yang, all part of the balance of our body, okay? And so if you understand disease at all, right, it's all symptoms from something underlying, right? Unless you have severe injury, even the disease I experience comes from this underlying severe injury, right? So and something just so you know, when I'm popping back and forth on these screens, I can't see the chat, so I'm not even looking at chat for the most part right now. The Chinese medicine, that helps me think about, like, okay, so we're dealing with not just something in the brain, right, with the way they observe it, right? Now here's the next thing I'm going to do here, though, is I haven't even looked at yet, and it's I can't spell either. Ayurvedic medicine for migraine, right? So here's the whole nother. This is the tradition from India. Ayurveda is an alternative medicine system with historical roots in the Indian subcontinent. The theory and practice of Ayurveda is pseudoscientific. The Indian Medical Association describes Ayurvedic practitioners who claim practice medicine as quacks. Ayurveda is heavily practiced in India and Nepal, where around 80% of the population report using it. So there was like over 191 cannabis preparations in Ayurveda before it was legalized internationally. And again, ancient knowledge to understand what Western medicine doesn't cure. Okay, so where does a cure come when it's incurable? From within, right? The incurable is only cured from within. And so here are some medicines for migraines, and I don't know any of that stuff. But one of the things they discuss, you can see here, doshas include air, space elements, pitta, fire, water elements, earth and water elements. Okay, so it's similar to the Chinese in similar ways with the heat and the these base elements of and understanding before we had microscopes and science, right? And doing the best we can to understand it. So this is something else I would look to understand where I'm going to move. But these aren't. I'm not using these as a basis of total information. One of the huge ones, though, from the Chinese medicine that I am really big on is that acupuncture thing. And it's helped me huge. Literally, like, one of the first treatments with my severe spine injury and issues and severe pain. I found a good practitioner and went in and they would give me some relief, and the hypertension in my neck was so freaking bad. But the first day after I found full release from the acupuncture, right? I thought I was climbing a tree, doing my arborist work, and I thought my head was going to fall off. Okay, so there's some pretty amazing stuff you can do with acupuncture. And again, these other things I just showed you, or we just did this quick search into, is how I go about like trying to understand better what a migraine is and what causes a migraine. And by the way, that's your spiritual security, folks. Let's see. So, what's the next thing I do? And again, like I'm leaning towards THCA, right, as an oral, but so what are some of those other ones that talked about though? Stress, right? So that oral when it's onslaught, but smoking cannabis can help you de-stress in the long run. Serotonin was a huge one, right? Let's ask. I'm going to go over here again to web browser. Let's transition, and I'm going to ask cannabis and serotonin. Serotonin syndrome found among people who take marijuana, especially people who are male, may have been taking the drug for 2 to 5 years. There's also take medication, fentanyl, and have migraine. This study is created by eHealth me-based reports on 3,508 people who have had side effects from taking marijuana from FDA and is updated regularly. Well, you have serotonin syndrome so this is interesting, right? Here we find a new link. This is totally new stuff, and maybe right? Okay, so what is the link between marijuana and serotonin? What seemed to happen is that by continually dosing themselves with marijuana on a near daily basis, their brains became oversensitized to the serotonin and dopamine release. It's interesting. I had no idea we were going to go right here today. So, marijuana and serotonin, understanding their relationship. Cannabis has a direct effect on our brain serotonin level. Okay, so this makes me, I want to go back now and I want to ask, what is the link serotonin and migraine? There's definitely a link between migraines and levels of serotonin in a person's body. Serotonin has been intensively studied and is believed to play a crucial role in migraine. Serotonin, okay, is it too much or too little? Migraine is long considered as a vascular headache, but clearly neurological mechanisms are involved. The pathway appears somehow involves serotonin, both peripherally and... So I'm just reading the headings on these. But this is literally what I do. I go through and find all of this stuff, okay? And so I'm gonna... I don't know that I'm gonna do the entire process here, because I want to read all this stuff, find out, is it a low serotonin, is it high serotonin? And then which place we look at, if we can find in cannabis what causes that serotonin to increase or decrease, okay? We're also looking at, so one particular line through of utilizing cannabis is obviously not going to work. So we've discussed how high THC delta 9 can make your head throb even more, right? So that's not what we want to be doing. We know that CBD can decrease some of this stuff, right? And then we know that when these two work together, they're not necessarily doing the thing they do alone, right? And then we can take, THCA has never caused me blood pressure increase. It always lowers the blood pressure increase and decreases my issues with pain, with headaches, etc. Okay, so I'm thinking out loud. This is the small amount of information I've gotten here. And trying to figure, okay, what are some of the regulators, right? I know some of the stuff that I smoke that when it comes on fast would probably increase this, right? And the more and more I think about it, and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be looking at
the next thing I want to do here is I want to ask, are there terpenes that affect serotonin? Boom. All right, you see how this works? All right, I still don't know. I still don't know. Do we have I'm going to ask now. Does high or low serotonin cause migraine? While serotonin doesn't appear the main cause of it, low levels have been linked to migraine headaches for a long time. Okay, boom. So what's the link between serotonin and migraine? There's definitely a link between. And cannabis and serotonin. All right, and so I'm going to go forward. I'm going to go forward again. And wait, oh, what did I do? No, I lost that one. Yeah. All right. Sorry about this, folks. Again, so I lost that. Cannabis and serotonin. Terpene. There we go. Okay, that's the one. Cool. So limonene responsible for increasing serotonin levels. All right. So we're coming into a solution here, right? I'm finding that where I want to tell someone with a migraine that they should be, for their recreational consumption, consuming a high limonene cannabis if they enjoy smoking it. I'm also going to tell you that you probably want to consume some CBD or a 1-to-1 ratio, possibly. Okay. Because the THC delta 9 increases that blood pressure, the CBD is going to decrease it. You might want to find something that has a lower THC level, okay? But then at this point here, I'm definitely going to say, look, I want you to come through and start making yourself some non-decarboxylated. I want you to learn how to make yourself FICO, full plant extract cannabis oil in the raw form, okay? And that's going to be your treatment for when this thing onsets, okay? So that's overall migraine, right? And again, we know that there's several different kinds of migraine, so this is not going to be the actual solution for everybody. It's going to be the first step we take in seeing if we can push the potato around and find the variables that truly affecting in any given person. Okay, we've got so the ocular, and again, it onsets before the main migraine. And my understanding of how the eye works, the fuzzy or blind spot the patient experience would be the nerve being pinched itself. And so what would be causing that, in my understanding of our body, would be a particular blood vessel increasing its volume. And again, we're looking at increased blood flow going in and decreased blood flow coming out. Acupuncture opens up your bloodways, relaxes the muscular tension, right? But there's also these guys can do stuff where it's like they're hitting nerves down in your hands and stuff, or the back of your hand, and it releases tension in your neck. All right, they can touch things into your feet that does stuff in your back. Right, so all these nerves, meridians, and that's something where, while I'm teaching this stuff, let me go ahead and look at acupuncture meridians chart. All right, and then transition. There's just one in particular. That's not coming up. What's going on? Oh, no, there it is. I think I'm pushing the limits of my stream here. Well, you can see what I'm talking about here. All these different lines. And so again, I learned this stuff for acupressure instead of acupuncture. Father Gatto was not all about the needles so much as, but if you understand the acupressure, there's a whole nother one here that you can see these dots on their hands and stuff. And so one of the ones that he taught me right off the bat for headaches, let's go back to transition to me, is so on your hand right in here, you have lines in there, and literally grabbing front and back of your hand right there when you have headache, that point right there will relieve amazingly within like 3 minutes usually. My worst headaches when I was in college, just holding right in there. Okay. I've got one. I don't know if it'll work right now, but I got a nerve ending right in the corner of my eye. No, it's not. I don't have it sharp enough, but quite often I can just hit that and it makes me sneeze. Okay. So we have these nerves and they do stuff. We're all connected throughout our entire. And again, this is a neurological thing dealing with the migraine. So you want to attack all these different directions to come into solving this particular problem. So this says the limonene is one that's huge to help. I wanted to bring up something else today is, let's see. I'm going to transition this again. All right. And I want to go terpene effects chart. Oh, I've gone slow. Yep. Okay. When you're pushing the limits. This is one we all know right here. Sorry about again, this is my first time doing this kind of stuff, and there's ways I can preset it all, but I'm learning it. I'm glad I'm able to open this up and show everyone so all these different. So here's limonene: anxiety, depression, inflammation, and pain. Right. Eucalyptal, soothing effect. Here's bisabolol, anti-inflammatory, anti-irritant, anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial properties. All right. So that's something we don't even know if there's something in our gut biome that's causing. Right. So it says it's quite often associated with stress. Stress changes our gut biome. Right. So it has diet recommendations. If we're not doing this, it doesn't matter what our ailment is. If we don't adjust our diet, we don't adjust our attitude, all this stuff, and change our entire lifestyle. That's because we cause dis-ease in our system ourselves quite often. Again, without an underlying injury that's causing this, or we can keep looking at different right levels of what causes various things. So linenol, anxiety, depression, insomnia, pain, inflammation, and neurodegeneration. And so all these have humulene, anti-inflammatory, alpha-pinene, asthma, pain, ulcers, and anxiety. Beta-pinene,
doesn't have any listing for it right here, but this one here is put out by Dutch Passion. You can see, oh, this has all the different temperature ranges that you can. So a whole nother thing is the vaping, and you can keep things in THCA form, all right? And so literally terpenoline, sweet floral with a piney scent, antioxidant, antibacterial, and antifungal. So that might not be the one, right? But you need to go through and find which ones of these is actually going to do it for you, right? So, like I could say, hey, I've got these plants. But in order to really go through and find the one, what was it we had again with this right here is okay, so this is an open pollinated plant that was bred from a wild land race. So we're talking 64, 128, 256 possible phenotypes to go through and find. And it's like, well, I can't necessarily. And so again, I'm asking this guy to go back and see if there's any way we can get a sample and test and see what the chemistry is of this, so we can bring this into the future and help people who have severe tremors issues. So, same kind of thing we want to do here is when we finally find something that helps a particular type of migraine or other people, right? Not even check this. I don't have my Facebook going right now, but there's probably groups on Facebook we can look at that just deal with migraine. And let's see, I'm checking some of these other charts to see if there's one we can look at. Fernal, cannabis, herb, no, anyhow. Yeah, so what was the flavor wheel? Some of these there's different ways of looking at this and getting that information, right? So there's this entire big situation, all right? And so we've come up with, we probably want THCA. We probably want limonene and some of those other ones. And so going through, literally trying various titrations of FICO with some of these different varieties and or if you live somewhere where there's medical and you can access or recreation, you can access vape pens with these different spec additives. Okay. Tap pen. Let's see. So it's kind of freewheeling this one, and I had some other stuff. There's another. I've got. I can't find the guy's message. I guess he's probably somewhere it's prohibition still, and contacted me in regards to helping. He's got 2 children who are Western medicine's not really helping, and so I apologize to you specifically. I did not reply immediately for multiple reasons. One, I'd been off my Instagram, locked out for 3 weeks, and I had multiple requests I was answering, as well as there's some. I'm always learning stuff, and I wanted to research a few things and get back to you. And so probably the next show we're going to do is going to be multiple sclerosis, and talking about ways to deal with that. But the part of that was, and I'm trying to get affiliate links set up, but I'm going to do one of the one of the things I've just learned about is this particular
Levo. Levo is the easiest way to make gummies and brownies infused with whatever herb you want. Vanilla, lavender, other green plants. I mean, the herb options are endless. And Levo is as simple to use as it is
playing
sexy
a
to look
Levo
at.
advertisement over here on
Just
the main
dry,
computer.
activate, and infuse. It's so awesome. Use your infused oils to make gummies, butter, bath bombs, lotions, or baked goods. Other infusing methods are messy, time-consuming, and really stink up your house. But Levo keeps the smell inside, and your neighbors
Oh, good.
happy. This little guy can really elevate any food and you to the next level. Go to levooil.com and get yours today. Levo also comes with a warranty.
All right. So that's one of the things I really want. I wanted to do a little more research on that. I just learned about that particular. The other one is the magic butter machine, right? The process, like it says, doing this at home and making the FICO can be a pain in the ass. And I believe both of those will produce raw. You can experiment with the various carriers and stuff for yourself, or work with a caregiver. Okay, it's not necessarily always going to be that somebody has exactly what it is that you're looking for. And gosh, that's not working. That's stuck. So we'll just go back to that one. Yeah, so what they mentioned in there, the whole other thing I've completely forgot about, bath bombs. Right? The bath bombs just rock. Yeah, I think the magic butter machine and the Levo Loyalty is in chat saying that he's got a magic butter and makes FICO with Everclear. And so again, here's a whole other thing with the FICO. And that's probably, I'm going to do a lot more on FICO when I do MS. There you go. So Master Grow says magic butter tells you to decarb in the oven first. The Levo can do both, I believe. All right. I think you infuse without the heat is how that one works. And I haven't confirmed it exactly, but I believe both of those are going to do either or. Reddit is great for info about edible oil and all things weed. Yep. So that's one I don't actually I don't get into. I haven't spent time with, and I should. There's definitely different places to look at this stuff. What's a whole nother one? THCV, right? That's when the CBG. I got a feeling CBG might just be the answer, period, for migraines, right? That's one I still haven't had in my hand yet to experience its chemistry, and so it's quite often someone comes to me and asks stuff that's like way bigger than I've got the information for. And how do we go about it? The information's here. If you know about know how to go about finding it and bringing it all together and looking at forums as ancient as the Greeks. Yeah, no, and that's the hive mind, right? And you can see how I can queen bee the hive and go through and look and how my brain works. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you is what I'm seeing and how I move through, so that any one of you can go through this process for a loved one or a friend, and or anyone watching this can see whatever your ailment is, wherever you're at. You can do this process and understand, hey, there's all these different angles to approach from, right? But the Western medicine pushing a pill is literally putting Band-Aids on stuff. Okay, we've got to go look at the underlying root causes of, and quite often once we alleviate those things, it's not coming back as the same way. All right. For instance, personally, when I was dealing with extreme pain, I still have pain issues. So again, with someone's asking if you have to decarb with Levo, I believe the machine will do it. I haven't got this figured out exactly. I believe the machine will decarb when you press the button and you can set the temperature. You can also, hey, Crypto Dope telling people to thumbs down. Yeah, I actually, I love it. There's one for you, buddy. Because you know what? I'm shifting the paradigm, and yeah, I'm going to piss people off, and that's great. I'm happy when you thumbs me down, because that means I've caused you cognitive dissonance, and your brain hurts when you hear me talk. That's great, because everyone else who gives a thumbs up is hearing what I'm saying, and just because you're not, that rewards me greatly. So please, yeah, thumbs down all you want. That's So yeah, it was saying now how Levo, I believe it can do both. It has a drying process, it has a heating process, it has an infusion process, and you can set all those temperatures on there. The process I use, and I've been using forever, going back into the 80s when I first learned about from one of the old books. I don't know if it was Mel or who put that one out that my brother had, and it showed a picture of one of the old school dudes in a room in Afghanistan, just packed full of hashish, and he was holding like a Ziploc bag or some sort of bag just full of hash oil. I'm like, what the hell's hash oil? And so I learned about that one and making the extractives that way. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm dyslexic. Everything holds true. Except for, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how I saw don't forget that thumbs down button. Sorry, buddy. But that is the truth. I do have severe dyslexia. And that is one of the effects, is I literally can read thumbs up and see thumbs down for whatever reason. And it's pretty crazy. That's why I do math equations 3 times, forwards, backwards, and reverse, right? That's the reality of reality. No, all right, so other people read it the same way. That's kind of weird. Anyhow, so I first heard about it, right? Then we started hearing about Rick Simpson oil. So somebody, again, dealing with my own pain and how it regressed and went away, like somebody had, I was teaching how to do organics through PFA, Probiotic Farmers Alliance, and teaching a lot of people, like top contributor in there for several years, just teaching people specifically how can you work with your own environment, your own little natural zone, and we're like literally helping people. I've been all over the Western states, and I can tell people where to go in your county to go find inputs for your grow. In the meantime, though, I was still suffering with extreme severe pain of my own, and I had the solution in my hands. I've been treating cancer patients. I'm not sure exactly what you can use in the level. I apologize. Go ahead, and I'm gonna have, hopefully I'm gonna have some links in the future, and people are asking questions about this unit, and that's one of the reasons I held off doing the MS show, is I really wanted to get more information on that level, and so I've contacted them, and I'm trying to get a discount and or an affiliate link, and so I can make a little money myself by turning you guys on to this stuff. So again, I was making FICO for cancer patients, and I had already determined that making it raw was going to help them a lot more. And I had also decided that complaining about my pain online or just even mentioning it wasn't the best way to deal with it. But every once in a while, it got so fucking bad, I just wanted to be dead. And I'd pop one on a comment someplace, and somebody reached out and was like, man, can we send Alex some medicine? And in the mail a week later shows up a topical. It's literally a small, very small quantity of THC in these topicals, like a teeny amount. Like in a 4-ounce jar, there's probably, I smoke more than a bong hit. Okay, extremely small quantities, but this was sent to me, and I'm laying on the floor. The storms would come through, and my spinal injuries would cause hypertension in my muscle, and then I have an edema of the thoracic. There's actually 2 of them, and so with massive pressure changes, especially if I have overworked a muscle, or if any of my spine is knocked out of alignment, it causes severe just crunching of the spine, right? And the pain is beyond excruciating. It literally, nothing would stop it. I used to run a stills so I could have moonshine and help alleviate the muscle spasms and stuff. And putting a little bit of topical on there made the whole world a difference. And I literally got up and started walking around, laying on the floor crying. And 10 minutes later, like, wait a second, what happened? How am I good to go? And so I tested it the next time. It's like, yeah, this shit works. And I can't remember right now if I had somebody else had turned me on to taking the cancer medicine into a oral form for myself to help with the arthritis. Okay, so once I got these things under control and all the hypertension and all the issues, the swelling, the underlying swelling issues, right, to relax, the long term, I don't have these issues unless I do stupid shit to reactivate the underlying causes, right? And so hopefully it's something that will apply with the folks who suffer from migraine, where when you find that solution, it is able to prolong and you don't even have to continue using it, right? One of the patients that I brought off, he was fully disabled and receiving full disability. And over 2 years, we went through, his chemistry kept changing. We went through over 20 different strains of cannabis for him, and usually 3 at a time for different effects. But unbeknownst to me, he had 9 different medications he was taking. And each time he dropped one of those things, because the cannabis was helping him, right? It changed his chemistry and he had to adjust again. So there's a huge equation to understanding any particular ailment and how we can go about helping it. You want to find out all the information you can from every angle you can to understand what causes this person's dis-ease, to bring them ease or comfort, right? Again, quite often when it's incurable from Western medicine, the only cure is from within, right? And so identifying what those issues are, stress, what's that serotonin balance doing? What's causing muscle spasms? What's causing that blood flow to increase or decrease? And then attacking every single aspect of that you possibly can through diet, through our nervous system manipulation, through microbes, right? All that stuff, our diet, our probiotic intake. All these things come to bring us health in our body and mind. There's no separation from the health in our mind from the health in our body. And it's shown quite a bit to be true with the floral aspect, the biofloral aspect in our gut. We have as many, if not more, cells of foreign bacteria and fungus in our system as we do human cells that make up the body that holds all the rest of the intricate systems that create our day-to-day experiences. We're coming into the end of this one. I hope people had the opportunity to learn how I go through this process and can apply that to their daily needs or helping other people they love and stuff like that. Again, I'm not ever going to be healed back to where I was. I'm never going to be able to do the things I used to do. We adjust and we move forward. We do new things, right? But it'd be pretty awesome if we could find a solution for migraines. I think it's there, right? And especially if we start digging into some of these lost land races, like this fella. Where are we at? We gotta. Let's see. I'm web browser and I'm there, and I need to transition. Yeah. Again, this guy's got 20 years of his life back because of an obscure breed that I made out of the love and passion for my best friend, and I wanted everybody in the world to experience how awesome unconditional love is, right? And there it is. So hopefully we can get a sample of that one, figure out exactly what it is that made the difference for this guy, and bring it into the mainstream for everybody. Here's Chris Christ saying, for pain, I use 1 tablespoon of red vein. I don't know red vein. I use turmeric. I use the raw cannabis, very low titrations help, etc., etc. Um, I was gonna play some outro music, but that thing's gone. So let me close out with a little flute music for you. Oh, let's see. My stone's all loose. Let's see. Oh, I'm having a hard time adjusting my stone here. That's there we go. I really need to get some rawhide on there. All right. Y'all missed me trying to adjust my stone. Peace out, folks. And stop. Cool. Thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you on the next one.